All right. Good afternoon and good evening, Zelda 1 Randomizer race fans. Welcome to the Triforce Triple Play Season 1. We are in the first round of the round of 32. Now, we'll get into a little bit of history there in a moment on what that means, but what we're looking at is our round between jessandy8 over on the left-hand side of our screen and Potato Pony over on the right-hand side of our screen. I am Neo Nonane, coming at you from the commentary booth, and joining us on tracking today is LateBit. So, welcome everybody for coming along for the ride here today. Now, this is a bit of a special event, I would even say, on what we're looking at here, because as much as we're going to get into some history on the Triforce Triple Play and what that means, I want to call very specific attention to these two right here. Jess and Potato Pony are normally co-op partners. As a matter of fact, they've raced in races together 77 times and almost a 50-50 split on wins, but this is their very first head-to-head race. And by the way, there's Potato Pony over there getting and finding level 7. Now we're finding level 7 over here. We're going to be doing some poking around, of course, as we are looking in our open caves for our sword. We will get the timing synced up in just a moment between the two of them. But level 7 being found at the open cave by the desert. Now, we are looking at a mixed first quest overworld right now. So, for people that don't necessarily play around in this too much, what does a mixed first quest mean? Well, it's going to be first quest leaning in some areas, most particularly. It's going to be leaning in terms of the money. We're going to get 3 large secrets out of this, as compared to going ahead and getting just one that we'd run into in second quest. We're going to have the first quest amount of door repairs as compared to the second quest amount. And by the way, we get our Armos check up at the Lost Hills Armos, and we're finding ourselves at almost the max medium secret over on Pony side. But in this mixed first quest, that means spots that might be exclusive to first quest may or may not be options today. Spots that are exclusive to second quest may or may not be options today. More particularly, what does that really mean? It means we may get blocked by overworld blocking items that are normally a low risk, like the Recorder or like the Power Bracelet. It opens up a lot of spots for both of them. And by the way, we have another Armos check over there in the forest, the north one. That is going to go ahead and give us a potion shop that we see between the two of them right here. And a third Armos check tells us that we got a heart. Could be the coast heart. Could just be a heart that was shuffled in. Doesn't really matter too much, I suppose, at the end of the day. But either way, that's going to go and give us the opportunity to get hearts a little bit early. Might make it a little bit easier for us to go and grab the white sword item. That can be anywhere from 4 to 6 hearts, by the way. And Potato Pony, mixed first quest, not a true first quest. That means that 1Q2 is not 1Q2. It's actually 2Q3, and you need a recorder to get to it. Just finding herself a take any, and we do have extra candles turned on in the seed, which means we are going ahead and we are getting candles. Potato Pony getting the exact same take any on his side of the screen, and we are now officially both with candles hanging out in the forest. As we poke around, it looks like we may be finding ourselves going ahead and getting off to the coast. And we find ourselves in any road at the cave on the coast, but most importantly, we're about to check the coast item. And we have ourselves another heart. All right. And these any roads are taking us around a little bit. We do find one over on West Death Mountain, which is fantastic. It's great having an opportunity to get up to Death Mountain at any point in time. Another one that we find over at the grave. We have a small delay, by the way, on the stream, as you see. That is us just synchronizing the two runners to go ahead and have the exact same timing. And we find ourselves going into a hint shop over there, 1030 and 50. Now, let's talk about hints for a moment. The hint type in this is random. As in, oh, and another take any, incidentally, for Jess. That's massively increasing the opportunity that Jess will be able to go ahead and pick up the white sword item when it is found. So hints are random. That means that we could go ahead and we could have helpful hints. We could have bad hints. We could have deceptive hints. We could have all sorts of things. Incidentally, there's our raft. Not pick upable at 4 hearts, but there's our raft as our white sword item over at start. Because of the fact that we have seen that the numbers didn't change for the hints, the price, they're all even numbers. They're not randomized. That means that the hints that we get today will not be helpful, right? And so obviously we're seeing blank text here too. So that tells us that there's not going to be anything from that as well. And oh, by the way, just north and west of start ends up being our large secret today. That was a very large secret. We're coming in at 129. So 129 at the large secret, 39 for the medium secret. If we've seen a small secret, I have not caught it yet. And over at the vanilla map, Oh my goodness, let's try that again. At the vanilla magical sword location, we find ourselves with level 1. Jess goes in, she pokes around just a little bit, and Jess goes out. We're a little blocked for now, but we'll go back and we'll check that out later. And speaking of the magical sword, we just found it over by the river cave spot in the very south of the map there, just a little bit to the west of the starting location. Now, our runners are still looking for a sword. That is going to go ahead and get them up and running. Wood sword is great, but poking around in some of these early dungeons early on is going to go and help you out with a maybe a white sword or a wand or some other combat item. By the way, Potato Pony just went ahead and got a global on the bomb drop over there by utilizing his candle, and Jess, on the other hand, just picked up some bombs at 15 rupees. A little shy of vanilla, but not the cheapest we've ever seen. But now both of our runners are ready and able to start dropping bombs to help them out with their runs right now, which is absolutely fantastic. Jess burning down the dead woods to go check out some of these different burn spots that we have here. Another potion shop. And Potato Pony has now made his way over to the grave to go check this out. Both of these runners are zooming through and getting an opportunity to poke around and really see what the overworld has in store for us. As a great example, by the way, of what you see from Mixed First Quest, that spot that just burned over on the left-hand side, that is a second quest exclusive spot, which means that it could have or could not have opened in today's run, the benefit of being mixed. And obviously it did, which is great. And that second quest spot did not over there. Second hint shop found. Hints are not going to matter for us today. Everything has blank text. And of course, as we mentioned, those numbers are not really changing. So here we are, and we'll see what we end up coming up with. But up and there is our wooden sword picked up by Jess. Excellent, fantastic, and that is at 1Q3 that we have found that. All right, so as we continue to go through here, chat, as I mentioned, I'm hanging out here in the commentary booth. I'm doing it solo, which means I'm asking for your help, chat. If there's something important that I am missing out here, go ahead and throw some commentary into the chat. Similarly speaking, if you guys got some ideas, some thoughts, some really cool things, we'll do a little back and forth. Have a little bit of discussion as we go. And incidentally, I will repeat my thank you here at a late bit for going ahead and tracking. That's going to absolutely help and keep me honest as we talk through what's going on today. By the way, speaking of things that are going on, Potato Pony taking a death. That's a little bit rough. And that's going to go and get him respawn back again in the desert. However, he will be taking that exact same large secret that Jess just went ahead and checked out. Once more at 129. Money does not look like it's going to be a terrible thing for the runners in our seat today. A nice save right after that tells us that if we're going to go start spending that money on some things, it might be a good call, might be a bad call. We'll find out. Just picking up the letter, so now we have the access to pick up some potions if we need to, which is great. We've seen a handful of different potion shops in play. By the way, we see another money location over there in the I believe that was 1Q1 where we saw that. But Potato Pony's not going to snag it right now because why would we? Just finding what appears to be our third large secret over at Death Armos. And just south of Death Armos, we see Jess hitting level 3. Now, Pony is not that far behind. He's right there in her footsteps. So we're going to potentially see how this goes. The only difference being between the two of them here. Oh, maybe Pony's not going to... Oh, I'm sorry. Pony is going to go the same way. He's going to try to do the wrap to Death Arm... Oh, no, he's not. Potato's going back up to the grave, Potato Pony. So that's cool. We're going to see what that ends up looking like up here for him and see if he continues to poke around in this area as Jess is going through 3 and getting us some more information here. Now, by the way, at 6 hearts over on Potato Pony's side, we are now officially able to go ahead and pick up that raft, and we can see if that raft is important. Raft still only encompasses 2 different spots, by the way. That's a shame Jess got the map there, but did in fact take a death for doing so. As we go through and we start poking around and we keep investing a little bit more, one thing I will call attention to is you can have overworld blocks of the wood sword and the seed. That means if the Armos item if the Armos item ends up being something that's particularly, interesting, it could mean that the wood sword is being blocked by that right there. Just calling that out for the entirety of the tournament. It's kind of an interesting thing to run into. And gosh, there's that combat upgrade in 3 for Jess with the wand. Now, sword and wand in hand, she is really going to burn through some stuff if it wasn't for the fact that Pony is also in 3, and that did not look like an incredibly hard item to go ahead and find. So if Potato Pony sticks around for a little bit in 3, he'll get that wand combat upgrade. and may or may not choose to really keep digging for the wood sword amongst the open caves, and instead decide to start poking around in terms of, let's just go into some dungeons, let's just keep doing some things, etc. And start digging additional places in that case, right? So it's going to be an interesting point to see what happens. Now, if he doesn't find that combat upgrade, then we're going to see ourselves with a little bit of a gulf between Jess and Potato Pony right now, as he continues to have to go around and take a look at some other things. But we'll see. Now, keep in mind, this is a Wizrobe dungeon. As much as the wand can be used to help you burn down some of the Pole's Voice that we're running into, Wizrobes cannot be killed by the wand. You need something a little bit different. In this case, Jess is using bombs, an excellent strategy, to go ahead and to take those Wizrobes down. Or a sword, of course, is also viable to continue to do that. And so, as of now, Potato Pony's either going to have to rely pretty heavily on bomb combat if he continues to dig in 3, even with the wand pickup that he just got, or we're going to be hunting away for that sword as we go. So either way, we'll find out. Now, there's Jess over in that weird T-ish room, but not exactly. I think that's a... Gosh, I think that's a 2Q6 room. But hey, listen, somebody feel free to correct me if I have the wrong information on that one, because I'm willing to accept I do. And as mentioned, there's Potato Pony going ahead and doing that bomb combat on those Wizrobes. Now, without the ladder, it's hard to continue on that way, so we do have to burn a key to continue looping around over in level 3. Now, we find ourselves in a room over on Jess's side with 3 blue Wizrobes, using some bomb combat over here. This could be a push block room in 3. We don't see any segments hanging around, so, you know, it doesn't mean it has to be a push block, but it certainly could be as we go. And going back to that whole bomb combat with Wizrobes, Potato Pony's really putting in the time and the energy and the effort to take these blue Wizrobes out with just bombs. That's going to add up in terms of some challenges over time for sure, especially as we're looking at a count of only 2 bombs over there. But Jess utilizing hers for her combat, she's down to 0. So we're going to see exactly how this goes as we continue to move through this dungeon. Potato Pony having just a couple rooms behind Jess, not too far, all things considered. And even with the combat, let's say, disadvantage of not having the wood sword, there's still plenty of opportunities over here right now, right? And it's not necessarily putting Potato Pony very behind. Keeping that 1 bomb, however, could be useful for a bomb force, but once he realizes that there's nothing here, and of course missing a ladder, you can't go and cross over here. So once he realizes that he has to go left and spend the key to do that and run into those 3 blue Wizrobes, may just skip that room entirely. We'll see what that looks like. Incidentally, 3 in the basement is a heart, so we did a little bit of a swap. The floor item was an actual item, and in the basement item was a heart, as compared to what we run into in the vanilla game. All of which is good. And Potato Pony's in that same room where he can go ahead and he can pick up that heart, but at this point, it's really just a race to go find that Triforce. Now, Jess has learned that without that ladder to do a ladder clip, and with her missing that 1 bomb that Potato Pony has, we are officially blocked out of 3 for Jess. However, Potato Pony isn't. So only being a room or so behind doesn't really matter, because this is an opportunity to make things up if that bomb goes ahead and puts Potato Pony in a good position over here. So I was mentioning at the beginning, this is partner v partner that we're looking at right now. Almost exactly even in terms of wins in the 77 races that they have they've been in together, or at least in terms of who has beaten who, right? 38 on one side, 37 on the other side there. In their very first head-to-head, this is going to be fantastic. Who is going to be the actual victor for tonight? It adds a lot of suspense and energy, let's say. Now, Potato Pony dropping that bomb, as we were just talking about, he is not bomb blocked as of yet at the very least. Let's see what he finds. Another key is always helpful, as Jess is going around killing bomb droppers, paying off, and giving another opportunity to potentially go back in 3. But maybe 3 is another... We'll get to it when we get to it, so to speak. Bomb upgrade for Potato Pony in 3. That's a nice little boon, going up to... Gosh, that's 6 whole bombs for a little over 104 rupees right there. That's excellent running into this room with the Wizrobes too, because bombs are the only way he's going to be getting through this room. And we're going to be finding ourselves getting an opportunity for the Triforce relatively soon. I say relatively soon. I'm sorry, I meant now. Potato Pony with the first Triforce on the board over there in 3, while Jess goes and picks up the white sword item of a raft down at Vanilla Start. A great bomb upgrade. Jess is going to see that when she goes back into 3, but it looks like 3 can take a break for now. She knows where it is. It's not terribly difficult to go ahead and to get to. Getting a bomb pickup over there for our 15. It's not terribly hard to go ahead and to get to 3. And you know what? Gosh, And incidentally, there's Potato Pony getting right back up to that max rupee count over there. Jess will go back there. It is a shame that she's going to be missing out on such a big bomb upgrade, but again, she's got that sword. Potato Pony does not. So there is still going to be a little bit of a boon on either side, right? It all comes down to what your routing is going to end up being. All right, Pony walking through the dead woods over here, while Jess is going to take a run at the first raft check. Now, the raft may, in fact, be useless, but we're going to find out. Could be incredibly helpful. Could be the thing that opens up the seed, for all we know today. But for now, it's going to be just a secret. Potato Pony getting that wood sword, getting that additional combat on the board. That's going to help out if we start running into more and more Wizrobe dungeons. Now, my memory on exactly how the randomizer works is not exactly the best, but I do believe that dungeon enemy set that we ran into, we're going to see in at least 2 different spots tonight. It doesn't mean that we're going to see Wizrobes in every single one of them, but we're going to see that enemy set in at least 2 different spots tonight. So, and it could be more than that. So we're going to see what that ends up looking like as we go. By the way, Potato Pony going ahead and taking a swing to the southwest corner. Now, that is that's a money-making game over there, which means that we are almost certainly never going to be coming back to this corner again. Oh, and by the way, right at the top right corner of Candle Row, 1 down and 1 east of level 1, that's where we're finding our level 9 for tonight. So we know where that is on the board, and we know where we're going to be ending up when we go ahead and we close things out for the evening. All right, and there's our small secret showing up at 20. So that's 129, I believe it was, for the large secret, 39 for the mid secret, 1 shy of maximum. And that is 20 for the small secret. And that 20 at the small secret is, in fact, the maximum for the small secret. So we know that money has been looking pretty good at the beginning of the seed already, and we just now know exactly how good that actually is. And it's really not bad, is it? Just with a nice little screen scroll. That's not a super common one that you see to go and to pick up the fairy that's over there in the just shy of the desert. And we know that both runners have seen 1 and they left due to a key block. Well, you know what? That key block is now gone. Potato Pony's deciding to dip back into 1, whereas Jess has just made a drop into 7 to see what it is that we're going to find. Landmo down in 1, no pirouette in 7, so it's time to actually go to the west. And no fun things underneath the landmo, but we do have a push block over on 1. Does that mean we're gonna have a segment in 1 for today? We get a load of fun when we start taking a look at those Zols, and they've gone ahead and they have rolled up, so they don't die to a single hit from the wand. Now, rolling up, incidentally, in this case, we are going ahead and we are offering, or at least we have the option for plus or minus 2 HP on enemies, plus or minus 2 HP on bosses over in our match here today. So that means that we got some things rolling up, we got some things rolling down. Map on Jess's side, fun segment over in 7 it looks like, over in the bottom left-hand corner. And Potato Pony picking up that compass, so we now know the direction of our Triforce. 1 is a small enough level though, and there's 3 different items hanging around, 2 on the ground, 1 down the staircase. So we're probably going to go ahead and we're going to see a little bit more engagement, rather than just running right to that Triforce. It is a fun manhandler when they don't go down in 1 bomb, that is for sure. I mentioned that bosses had plus or minus 2 HP. It looks like we went the plus route for manhandler for sure. But that beefy manhandler still does its job. Here's an example of that second dungeon being a Wizrobe dungeon that we're going to be seeing here. Could be the last one we see. We don't know. We'll find out. But we have that map over on Potato Pony's side, and we can actually see where things are. Jess is poking around. We have we had a Goma that we were running into without any arrows, but particularly without the bow. We're not going to be doing anything about that, but let's see if we can't find alternatives. And Potato Pony, that 8 Wizrobe room, you know what? I'd go ahead and burn the key too. So that 8 Wizrobe room is not looking really appealing for anybody. Nice positioning on that bomb on the half tile, by the way, on Jess's side. 1 bomb and down goes that to Dongo. I'll kill some Paul's boys over here in 1 and see if we can't find our floor item that is poking around. Now, as Jess goes through, I believe that means we are formally Goma blocked over in 7, unless I missed something there. So that's a good, that's a good piece of information to have, because that now means that we need to find ourselves a bow and we need to find ourselves some arrows. By the way, Potato Pony, finding that floor item over there in 1, getting the any key, that is excellent. Or one of those floor items, mind you. So now keys are no longer going to be a problem. Not that they've particularly hurt, but, you know, not going to be a problem. Jess is eschewing the key purchase right there. I wonder if she's going to go ahead and hold on to try to pick up the blue ring. I don't think combat has been particularly nasty, but it's, you know, it's always a nice thing to find. By the way, Potato Pony has indeed gone ahead and picked up that Triforce over and won. There are still more items in one to go ahead and find. So are we going to go looking for them? We absolutely sure are. Over on the left-hand side, by the way, we have a very interesting looking 8, our shapes 8, which is decent sized and decent shaped. Jess has found that in the forest. It was the burn bush that would have been 1 south and 1 east of the cave, the desert cave, which would be in this case 7. So that's where we're going to go ahead and we're going to find that. Apologies for the non-perfect geography that we may have over in the overworld. Finding one of those 2 items in 8 early, just like 1. 8 has 3 items, but unlike 1, it's not 2 on the ground, it's actually 2 down the stairs. First one down the stairs found, and it is just a heart. And, oh, Potato Pony finding a wonderful item down the stairs in 1. That's 2 items found now. That wonderful item being the wooden boomerang. However, he decides, I think I'm good. Don't necessarily need that one. We're going to pass today. So that's fine. Oh, I was going to say, 8. What are you going to do by digging on that? Well, it turns out what you're going to do is you're going to find that ladder. I don't think we found a ladder block yet, but we have certainly found a few rooms where a ladder would be helpful. Nice quality of life upgrade for now. But also keep in mind, as I said earlier, we are on a mixed first quest overworld. Mixed first quest overworld means that we do have the 2 ladder spots on the river as 2 potential spots that we may actually need to go ahead and access to find all of our different dungeons today. We haven't necessarily found all of them as of yet. So with that in mind, the ladder may in fact be an overworld blocking item for our intents and purposes today. We are going to go ahead and find out. So this might just be a quality of life piece, but it may actually be a really, really nice upgrade, especially if we start running into ladder blocks in any of these dungeons here. Now, Potato Pony doing a little bit of fun over in this blue Wizrobe room, and I say fun, this is an absolutely disgusting room to have to deal with. Some people might have made the choice to just leave one rather than clear this and hope for the other floor item. I'll be honest, I'll raise my hand, I would have done that at this point in time. But then again, I'm also not playing in this tournament here, right? So we're going to go ahead and defer to the decisions of the people who made it to the round of 32. I do believe, by the way, for what it's worth, in our round of 32 that we're engaging with here, this is, I believe, the 4th one that has been run so far. So we're pretty early stage still out of all of these different runners that we're getting into. And boy, it's making for some real quality Zelda 1 randomizer that we're running into. I super encourage you all to take a look at the SpeedGaming calendar and see where more stuff is potentially going to be coming up. We do have a match later tonight between Theorwolf and Fred Coughlin right at 10 p.m. That promises to be tons of fun as well. So if anybody is listening here and they'll be hanging around at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight, that'll be streaming over on SpeedGaming over on the core channel. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to see what happens when we get that final Wizrobe down, that final blue Wizrobe. And absolutely agree, chat, that it's definitely more palatable when you have 14 bombs. But also take a look at the fact that we have 1 bomb left in terms of where we're going with Potato Pony. So it's a lot of work that had to go in there and a lot of risk that had to go in there. Hopefully this is a big payout and we see something down here that's not a heart container, but never mind, let's just ignore that comment entirely. A lot of work, time, energy, and effort went into finding all of our items and just a heart container. Now, just continuing to poke around in 8, right? We have a Triforce to find, and we have 1 more item down some stairs that we have to go and locate. She did run into a Patra that she went and passed on by utilizing the ladder. So the ladder is actually giving a little bit of a boon today in terms of saying, hey, listen, it's maybe not required, but it certainly helped. Go ahead and do some 8 routing, and we'll see what that looks like. By the way, Potato Pony has now found 9 as well. So full knowledge of 9, and we'll see where that ends up getting us. So we have some, I don't want to say some divergence, because we don't necessarily have some divergence here. But Potato Pony has now gone in 1, 3, pulled some items out of this stuff over here. Recognizes that I got some money, let's go spend it on something like arrows, gotten the bomb upgrade, and has that any key, which can potentially change routing inside of a dungeon, so you're not using up keys that you don't necessarily need to use up. But on the other hand, Jess does have 6 keys, and she's not necessarily shy on going ahead and spending all of those right there. A little bit lacking in the bombs, but she has seen a ton of stuff over here in the overworld. She's had a ton of digging in other levels, such as 7 and 8, which are some pretty big ones to go ahead and poke around in. This is still very much anybody's game at this stage. And keep in mind, we are still missing some of our levels out there. We are at 1, 3, 7, 8, and 9 have all been found. So we are missing 2, 4, 5, and 6. 2 and 4 being on the smallish side. So there's a lot of value to go ahead and be gained from going through and actually accessing those particular ones. By the way, Potato Pony doing a fun job with the gorillas out here. Those are in fact bomb droppers, and so killing them is a great opportunity to find some bombs. On the other hand, finding a bomb shop is also a great opportunity to find some bombs, so let's go spend our 15 rupees and just go pick up some extras. By the way, another bomb shop and another purchase. A lot of bomb activity being found. Thankfully not the rare shop, though, by having as many as Pony has, 14. Hopefully we're not going to be having any sort of challenges in that. And Potato Pony picking up the raft, and I'm sure that we're going to see a routing to our western raft spot. And that western raft spot, we know, is just a secret. But Potato Pony does not know quite yet, so we'll see that routing going on. And thank you for the call-out chat. Absolutely, Ganon is not in his room, folks. That means we might have some entertainment with Ganon tonight. And entertainment, I say, could be as simple as we enter a really empty room and Ganon's in just a big old empty room and nothing special. Or it could be anything so fun as maybe we don't really see a need for the ladder the entire scene, and then, oh, whoops, Chevy room. Could be done. Or the circle moat room, which I guess doesn't necessarily block things, but boy, it makes it a real pain. So we're going to see things going, and hi, Drews. Hi, Drews. Hi, chat. Alright, Potato Pony got that check, realizes it's not a level over here. What are we going to do about it? Well, we are going to go ahead and get our small secret. We're going to save, and we're going to get on out of here. Just continuing to poke around. I mean, we do still have a Triforce to find in 8, not to mention we do still have one more item to go down the stairs. So why don't we see what we're looking at over in the lower right-hand corner. That wand doing work. It looks like Jess is doing our double tap pretty efficiently over here. So as a fun item for anybody who is watching who's not aware, if you go ahead and you pop your sword at the exact same time that you're popping the wand on the exact same frame, you hit with both of them, and that damage counts simultaneously. Simultaneously is actually important in some scenarios. For instance, if you had the wand and the white sword, both of those individually could not go ahead and take down a vanilla Vire. But going ahead and popping the two of them on the same frame, since it's actually accretive in terms of the damage that's done, it'll put the two of those together and actually take a Vire down in one hit without having to split off into a bunch of those red keys hanging around. So it's kind of cool to go ahead and be able to pull that off. It was great work from Jess to go and see that. Potato Pony getting to enjoy the early stages of 8. I believe this is where we found the heart, was underneath this push block over on the right-hand side. And as Jess picks up the compass, we now know where we're going to go ahead and find our Triforce. Now, if I recall correctly, Jess was actually up in that part of 8 already. I may recall incorrectly, so please feel free to correct me, anybody up here. But she was already up in that part of 8 and just, but maybe not by taking this route. Who knows? Maybe I am wrong. Her map made it look like she was at least up here. Oh no, she was definitely up here. This is the Patra that she took advantage of the ladder to get out of this room by going ahead and walking up and bombing up. Now Potato Pony's going to find that free ladder sitting on the ground. Really no effort to go ahead and get that one over there. And you got a little bit of fun bouncing around, but for the most part, just grab it and you can keep on going. Now that last item, we found the first two. One down the stairs, we found one on the floor. That third item, I believe, has still eluded us, or if it hasn't, at least I haven't seen it. But anyways, Jess gets her first Triforce. Welcome to the board, Jess. You got one of the hardest ones to get, because that's one of those big old levels out there. So go ahead and enjoy moving on. Digging for a third item in an 8 that large, even if you've gone ahead and you've seen at least half of that 8 at this point in time, does not feel super appealing when there's a lot of other things out there to get. So let's dig around, let's poke around, and hey, by the way, we already have the Triforce, so once we find the recorder, we can come on back here. Assuming that the recorder, of course, is not the other item that is hiding out in 8. Yeah, thank you, chat. Less commentators, one commentator, we're going to do what we can to make sure we got content going at you all day long here. So, question in chat, is this randomized dungeon layouts? Absolutely! So welcome to two things we're going to call attention to here, while we have a bit of a lull moment, so to speak, as Jess finds another secret on the coast. However, we're not going to take that, because we know that any secret we find is going to go ahead and just bring us over the max, and so we're going to lose some cash there. We are doing something for Shapes Dungeons. So Fred and his fantastic coding has set up this algorithm in the randomizer that you can either have your first quest dungeons either vanilla entirely or second quest dungeons vanilla entirely, move the rooms around, maybe do all that fun stuff. Or you can have shapes dungeons, where it goes through and it has this lovely algorithm where it generates all new dungeons, moves the rooms around. It can include second quest rooms. It can just keep us into first quest rooms. It can do a bunch of fun stuff like that. By the way, Jess has decided to pick that coast heart up. Excellent. Getting some numbers up there, maybe hoping for the magical sword. But with shapes, we basically get all new dungeons, which means that we run into all new stuff every single time we play through this. So it makes Zelda 1 Randomizer not just a randomized experience, and not just a speedrunning experience in terms of who knows the right frames to hit everything on and the right speed to go ahead and do everything at, but it also just changes the entire game, that every level can be potentially different. By the way, Jess has just confirmed we didn't need the raft by going and finding our last, I believe, take any, over on the eastern spot. Now, Potato Pony, by the way, is going to take down his Patra on his side, something Jess did not do on her first run-through here. She chose instead to leave by bombing up, and this means that Potato Pony is going to find our Triforce, find early, and whether or not he'll take it isn't a question anymore, because he did indeed. Now, to finalize one last comment about the Shapes Dungeons and how that works, we're going a little bit off my memory here, so anybody here is welcome to go and say, hey Neon, you got your info wrong. But Dungeons 1 through 6, normally in vanilla, those all share a grid, an 8x16 grid. And so you can actually see where all the different dungeons fit into each other. It's kind of cool if you take a look at that. But in the way that we see them here, they get progressively larger. So 2 is always going to be bigger than 3, 3 is always going to be bigger than 4. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have the exact same amount of rooms that they would have normally had in the vanilla one. Not to mention that we can do some like segments where you have to take a ladder to get to different spots. By the way, up in Casino Corner, in the northeast corner of the map, we have now located level 2 on Jess's side. I say Casino Corner because I believe that is a money-making game over in the vanilla Zelda 1. But those Shapes Dungeons 7 and 8 do their thing. 7 and 8 and 9 are all, again, sharing a 16x8 grid. And so they all get progressively larger. But based on the way that the algorithm works, we can even sometimes see a level 6 that's larger than a level 9. Because 7 and 8 might be particularly big, and 9 is just ever so smidge larger than one of them. I believe that's how it works out. By the way, we have gotten a compass early in 2, so we know where our Triforce is going to be. 2 is having its items shuffled. Now this is Shapes, which means we're following the rules of First Quest dungeons in terms of the items that are in play there. Not that, you know, level 2's any... oh my goodness, let's try that again. We're following First Quest rules. Level 2 would have had, in the second quest, a recorder down a set of stairs. However, First Quest rules means that we are going to find 2 items in 2, and they are both going to be floor items. So that's why it's going to be great for Jess to go ahead and clear this out, because we are still looking for some of the most important items in the game. Now, I say some of the most important items in the game because in this seed set here, we do have to defeat Ganon, right? That's pretty standard. Force the Ganon fight. We can't rescue Zelda without going ahead and doing that. However, what we also are going to run into here is we are going to need to... Oh, Jess, you're going to burn the the boomerang? That's a shame. Anyways, we're going to go through and we're going to find these items here. We do need to find 2 items to beat this game. One of which is going to be the bow. That's going to allow us to kill Ganon. You got to take it, Jess. I know you don't want it, but you got to take it. Being forced that route. So anyways, one is the bow, one is the silvers. By the way, finding the other item here, it is the power bracelet. Time to go on back and just pick up that Triforce you found. A bow is deemed an important item. So what does that really mean if you have an important item in this case here? Well, the bow is an important item, the ladder is an important item, the raft is an important item, power bracelet's an important item, and the recorder is an important item. Normally, these are not allowed to go into 9, but in this case, they are. Fantastic. So, normally you'd have to go digging for them out here, but we may have to take a gamble and see that. Instantly, Jess got that Triforce, just as Potato Pony finds 9, and dips into 9 as well. And then as we go through, we're gonna keep poking around. There's my quick pause in the commentary, right? Even I gotta take a breath and a sip of water. So Jess is poking around a little bit more up here. We find that there's not a lot going on over at the northeast, where there's normally a large secret in vanilla. Actually, that's not true. I'm sorry. That's normally the blue ring shop in vanilla. It's a secret in second quest. Jess continues to do her poking around, goes up to the vanilla letter cave, first quest letter cave, and that's where we find ourselves on 6. Absolutely fantastic. Well, Potato Pony, finding the mugger, we know that mugger's not necessarily going to be required over here, but the mugger is always a the mugger's always going to be fun. Now, team, it looks like we got some fun. We have some people who are maybe willing to actually join us a little bit over on commentary here. So give me half a tick, and I might get a little bit quiet as we go through and we do this. And if I'm missing something, you guys feel free to jump in and let me know. And we'll go through and we'll get that all taken care of here. So give me half a second as we go through and we adjust this over here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alrighty. So we are now pretty much good to go in terms of this. We're going to get a little bit more fun, and we are going to get a friend to join me today on our commentary. Now, as I was doing this over in the back end here, everybody, that does mean I may have missed something something interesting over in 6, so feel free to throw that in chat if I did. And by the way, welcome to my brand new co-commentator of this evening, JXB Adam. Welcome to the party.
Neo, how's it going? Man, it looks like this has been a pretty exciting match so far. We got Potato Pony, we got Jess, we got burned boomerangs.
We got burned boomerangs, you know what? And incidentally, you were absolutely right, chat. Power Bracelet was in fact in 2. Jess did pick that up. And Potato Pony, by the way, is actually going to see that in a second, because he's in the room with the blue boomerang, and just one to the left is going to be that Power Bracelet as well. Probably get those 2 items and get out. Anyways, I'm sorry, Adam. It has been an exciting match. Now, I know you weren't here at the beginning of it, so let me tell you why. This is the most exciting match I've ever seen in the entire world of things. It is because Potato Pony and Jess are a team. They are a co-op team. They do the co-op stuff together. They work together. They know each other and how they work so incredibly well. They have raced in races together 77 times. And of those 77 races that they have done together, Potato Pony has done better than Jess 38 times, and Jess has done better than Potato Pony 39 times. These two are almost perfectly matched, as Jess goes ahead and picks up the Triforce in 6, by the way, which is making for a super interesting piece, because this can genuinely be anybody's game here today.
Oh, that is super exciting. Wow, Potato didn't pick up the boomerang on the way to the Power Bracelet. I thought that was a forced pickup. Maybe not.
He cleared the room. I don't think he cleared the room. Is the trade-off there? I think he just went left.
That is an excellent thing to have done if you don't like to have a boomerang.
Now, to be fair, I was also looking away while I was pulling up my statistics there, because I wanted to be absolutely certain that I was giving the right information to the chat here, and giving the right information to you. Now, it looks like from looking at yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't think this room was necessarily cleared.
Nope. And depending on where Potato's at when he clears it, there's that boomerang and forced to pick it up. And the Triforce. So looking at our good old tracker board, and thank you, I believe it's Late Bit on tracking this afternoon.
It is. Late Bit is our MVP for today, and has been making sure that I stay honest in terms of what I've been saying. By keeping everything up to date and tracked well over on our board.
Excellent. So yeah, it's super even matchup. Super exciting to watch so far. And chat, are we having fun this afternoon?
I don't know why I was actually staying quiet while I was waiting for chat to respond, because chat's not going to respond to that. Right? They're not saying things in voice.
No, chat's gonna respond. They're just not gonna. We're not gonna hear them respond. We're gonna watch them respond.
So, I was mentioning a little bit earlier on. Jess got the ladder early. Now both runners had their ladder, but Jess got the ladder early, which now we're seeing her take advantage of that for some of the coast spot. I'm sorry, the river spots. And gosh, it turns out the ladder is not a blocking item so far. at least in terms of overall blocks.
Yeah, I'm looking at level 6. There's definitely a ladder block in this room. I don't know if the dungeon itself is ladder block, though.
You know, to be fair, that was when I was doing all my background magic here on the setup, so I did miss it if it was a ladder block overall in 6. But the good news is both of our runners have found that. Now, Jess did find level 1 incredibly early on, but despite the fact that she found level 1, she left incredibly early on because there was a key block, some land mows. It was no fun for anybody. Potato Pony dug one and now has that any key that's really allowing him to maybe take some paths that are paths that Jess may or may not take because she doesn't want to burn through those keys so far. Granted, 6 keys is a lot of keys, but we're gonna see, right? I'll see how long it takes for her to get back there. One was incidentally at the grave.
I see. Well, I know that if I found level 1 early, once I had a little bit more resources to be able to do something level 1, I would be right back there because there are 3 items available. I guess in this particular seed, the wooden boomerang, the any key, and probably a heart.
It was indeed. As a matter of fact, that last floor item, the heart, was hidden behind 8 blue wizrobes.
Only 8 blue wizrobes? Ah, that's child's play if you happen to have 16 bombs.
Only, I know. And to be fair, this is Potato Pony found the bomb upgrade earlier in, I believe it was 3, that Potato Pony picked up that bomb upgrade that has been really helpful with combat. Jess did not. She actually got bomb blocked out of the bomb upgrade and the Triforce and ended up having a pop on out of 3.
You know, that sounds quite ironic to get bomb blocked out of the bomb upgrade.
It sure does. It's making for an interesting split, but, you know, as we said, it's not really a key divestiture between the two of them, because they know each other so incredibly well, and they know exactly how each other plays, and the way that they're both playing tonight is phenomenal, and it had to be for them to get into our best of 32. And by the way, interestingly enough, up on West Death Mountain, we find level 4.
All right, just gonna pirouette that top key door, not having the any key yet. I find that to be one of the most difficult bosses of the game when I have the any key, not pirouetting the door and just walking straight up into it.
Oh my goodness, I know, Adam, right? Like every single time I go through, if I have the any key, I'm doing pirouettes anyways, and it's just costing me time because it's a muscle memory habit already at that point.
Oh boy, that is a bow.
Sure is. In a dungeon that Potato Pony has not found yet. But to be fair, Potato Pony also has not made the trip up to Death Mountain quite yet.
Yep, we will eventually get there because that bow is absolutely required. And wow, look at the location of that Triforce. Basically as far away from the start of this dungeon as you can put it.
And there is our official ladder block. So it's good that we got this out of 8 prior to making our way into 4.
That is true, and with the wand out of 3, we are making short work of a lot of these enemies.
We sure are. Now, and that's actually a great comment, chat. Jess had the opportunity for arrows, but she decided to save her money. For what, I'm not sure, but she is certainly spending it right now on the second bomb upgrade of this evening. But the overall saving of that money at that point in time definitely paid off for her with bombs. But we have a bow without some arrows right now. We know that we have a Goma block here tonight, so let's actually see what that's going to look like, whether she's going to gamble on finding the silver somewhere before she goes and makes a purchase, or if it's time to find the money to go and get up there.
So, Neo, what is that Goma blocking? Is that Goma blocking an item, the Triforce?
It's blocking progression in, I believe, 7 is where we ended up the inability to progress both for items and for the Triforce, just any further in the dungeon. We got to take it out. So
awesome. Well, there's some jewelry on the floor in level 4. So red ring for Jess. That's gonna really up that defense.
Sure will. It's been favored for Jess in terms of, let's say offense, at least in this seed. Now both of them have the wand and the sword, but she picked up both of them sooner than Potato Pony did. So she's always had a small edge, at least over on the offense side, and now defense is taking its way in. And by the way, thank you, chat, for calling it out. Jess has absolutely been leaving secrets behind while she's been at max or near max money. So she definitely has a path for finding finding that set of, I'm sorry, for buying those arrows. And by the way, there's our Triforce to get on out of 4.
That is about as fast as that dungeon can be done. And continuing exploration, we've got Jess on Death Mountain, we've got Potato Pony on Death Mountain, we've got chat hoping that the silvers are behind the Goma in level 7, because of course that's what chat does.
To be fair, it would be funny.
Well, not only would it be funny, but if I'm looking at the items correctly, if we've cleared all of 2, all of 3, all of 4, all of 1, did we clear all the items out of 8?
We got 2 out of the 3 out of 8, so we didn't find the 3rd item in 8. By the way, chat, for their question, did we find 5? No one has seen 5 yet. We did not get the last item out of 8. Didn't actually see it, didn't get it. It was probably buried pretty deeply at that point in time. And 7 is blocked from everything. I don't think we saw anything in 6, but I am willing to be told I am wrong on that one.
You're wrong, Neo. We saw the Triforce out of 6.
Well, we see the Triforce. That one counts, I suppose. And Potato Pony has now found the bow.
Got the bow. Did not kill the four-headed Gleeok, so does not have the map. We'll see if that causes a miss of the red ring in here. I don't think so, because it's a small enough dungeon, but you never can tell.
Yeah, generally speaking... Oh, and there's that second bomb upgrade for Potato Pony. Is he going to buy it? Of course he's going to buy it. And there we go, 19 whole bombs.
Did he give up a bomb to a mugger?
He sure did.
Well, that's a shame, but 19 bombs, that's nothing at all to sneeze at.
Not in the slightest. And yeah, that bomb was to the bomb giveaway was to a mugger in 2 that was not necessary. So it was a bit of a shame, but you know what? At the end of the day, like you got to be safe than sorry sometimes. And when you already have 16 bombs, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened.
Absolutely, no. That's when you've got a +6 bomb upgrade, given a single bomb to the mugger, you're gonna do that almost every time. And there is that red ring for Potato Pony.
Sure is. And now Jess is gonna get the chance to play around in this fun Wizrobe dungeon that we have in 1. Go ahead and pick up that any key, but most importantly, let's see if she decides to go ahead and take out the blue Wizrobes in hopes that they are blocking something important.
Well, it's unlikely that Jess will leave this dungeon without getting all 3 items, just because of how small level 1 tends to be.
Oh, agreed. Generally speaking, I like to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all full digs, and then after that it becomes situational on 5 and up. But that's my personal opinion, at least. And Potato Pony, by the way, has that Triforce.
Yep, I was going to call that out, and Jess has the map of level 1, so now won't miss any rooms. It being a Wizrobe dungeon, though, that could potentially kick her out, but she does have the red ring, which should grant somewhat of an advantage. Oh
yeah, and the room just south of this, incidentally, is that 8 blue Wizrobe room. Let's see if she fights it. Red ring makes it not that bad, and she does have one of the bomb upgrades, and here we go.
Yeah. It's only 6 blue Wizrobes. This is easy. This is like Z1R on easy mode. What's going on with that?
Z1R on easy mode. I don't think anyone's ever called blue Wizrobes that, but Adam, I will take your stance on this.
I'll smile and say the actual way to see Wizrobes on easy mode is to play A Link to the Past. And Jess does work through those 6 blue Wizrobes, does acquire that heart container. Moving on towards the Triforce now. I can't imagine that the any key will get missed. Potato Pony, in the meantime, has decided to purchase the bait. Not a bad idea. We've seen a couple of bait blocks already this tournament, and this tournament is young.
This is true. Now, we have Jess with all these different hearts here, and Potato Pony much the same, both at 11 hearts. We have seen Mags, any key for Jess, by the way. We have seen Mags, wondering if they will go down to actually pick it up. I believe Mags was at the very bottom of the river.
So at the very bottom of the river. So right this screen here, where Potato Pony's about to try it?
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to see. Again, let's not trust my memory. Oh, but we can. But it doesn't work.
Well, of course it doesn't work. We're not going to give you mags this early. You got to have at least 14 hearts.
Oh,
I'm just kidding, of course, chat. It's between 10 and 14 hearts, but for this seed, it'll be 12 and 14.
All right, just going back into one. Even after picking up the Triforce, there is one more thing that is left here for her to find, and let's see.
Yep, won't be in that room. She is looking for the staircase item. And the real question is, will she spend the time to go burn the boomerang? Now, I'm thinking not, just because of how evenly matched these two runners are. The fact that Jess knows this and has been even skipping like the 30 frames or so it takes for an item to spawn in, specifically five rupee drops that she's been missing quite a few of.
Oh yeah, and you have to think at this point in time, like we're 10 minutes shy of the hour mark, right? For these two different runners that we have. Jess is down, missing 3 Triforces, though 3 is going to be an easy grab for her. Potato Pony down 2 Triforces. I have to assume both of them, knowing their opponent, is sitting there thinking that they are a little bit behind. And that's going to create a little bit of concern. Now, Potato Pony does have the bow and did buy arrows. So now we're going to be going through 7, and we're going to see what's on the other side of that Goma block.
All right, chat. This could be quite huge. Looks like Potato Pony hasn't actually seen the Goma block in here.
Not yet, not yet. We've only seen it so far on Jess's side of this race here. But now he gets the map and knows where to go.
Look at that sad little one-room segment over there. Wouldn't it be surprising if the Triforce happened to be over there?
It would be entertaining if the Triforce was over there, I'll tell you that.
All right, another question from chat. Have we found 5 yet? No, we have not found 5. I'm starting to suspect 5 might be recorder blocked or power bracelet blocked. We have only recently acquired the power bracelet. We haven't checked all the spots yet. And just now going back to all these secrets that she has marked to just pick them up. And then there's that arrow purchase.
Absolutely. So 5 is the only outstanding dungeon we have here so far. And exactly like Adam was saying, we might be under the power bracelet, we might be under the recorder. We've confirmed that the raft and the ladder are not going to be impacting us from an overworld blocking perspective at this point in time. So we are either going to find it somewhere soon, and there's not a whole lot of spaces left to check, or we are going to start going through and trying to find ourselves a recorder.
All right, and Potato Pony. So we have seen past this blue land mode room. This is my first time seeing 7, and it doesn't push. So
I believe we go up into a Goma block. I believe that's the path that we end up taking here. There it is.
I see. Well, fortunately for both runners, they both have wooden arrows and the bow, so this Goma will just be a little bit of an inconvenience. Of course, I don't think either one of them killed that Patra. That would also be a humorous place for a Triforce.
I believe that Patra room had a key on the floor, and that's why we didn't necessarily want to kill it. And by the way, we now actually know where the Triforce is on Potato Pony's side.
We do, and you're right, there was a key on the corner. Question in chat, what's on the coast? Well, it's pretty much vanilla with a heart container out there. And I think both of our runners picked that heart container up, if I'm seeing things correctly. But I may not be.
Yeah, we definitely have that marked over there, so, you know, once again, Late-Bit, thank you for keeping us honest over there, because I certainly couldn't remember if they both did. So being able to have
Wait a minute, wait. I'm wrong. That's the Armos item that's a heart container. I can't read the tracker. Chat, what am I doing? But it was a heart on the coast as well.
It was. And thank you, actually, incidentally, for pointing that out, too, because now all those thanks go away, because we don't have that on the tracker, because we already tracked the heart somewhere.
That's right, Neo. That's the fun of Heart Shuffle.
It is, and I do a lot of the tracking fun stuff as compared to commentary, and when you have Heart Shuffle on, it's real interesting for you to make that choice on where you're going to put that Coast Heart. It can only go in one spot on the tracker.
Yep, I've tracked as well, and I often, if there's an overworld thing, Armos, White Sword, Coast, that's where I put the Coast heart at, because it's just the easiest thing to do. And it's really funny when there's, all the hearts on the overworld.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. In complete agreement here. All right, we got a staircase over in 7. Let's see what we end up finding. We find the transport. Or one of two transports.
Yeah, there'll be 2 of them.
Well, the first one didn't do a whole lot. Moved what? 1 room up and 1 room to the right, something to that effect?
Well, there's a red candle on the floor here in level 7, and Potato Pony's going to go ahead and pick that up. And here's another staircase. This is probably our item. It's the White Sword.
Oh gosh, you know what? That is worth a pickup. Let's go around and snag that. Especially knowing that we can't get Mags quite yet.
Yeah, we know that Mags isn't 11 hearts. I don't know if Mags is near any dungeons, so if we do find the whistle, we might be able to get there faster, but ultimately it's just one of those things where, yeah, the White Sword's going to double our sword damage, and we're going to want that. I can words, chat. Really, I can.
Taking a look at just proximity, so to speak. Granted, we haven't seen 5, though I think we've seen everything, all the checks in that area. So, the closest dungeon is going to be 3, and 3 is, 3 and 9. And 3 is just 1 screen south of the Death Armos, and 9 is the far eastern check on the Candle Row. So both of them are a little bit of a hike.
Yeah, it looks like Jess went a different way than Potato Pony, so missed the item to item here in level 7, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time wandering around.
And chat making a commentary there vis-a-vis the Heart Shuffle. I'll tell you, when I started this, Heart Shuffle was challenging. By the way, Potato Pony grabbing that Triforce in 7. Heart Shuffle was challenging. As a matter of fact, we did a Rookie Rumble 3 where Heart Shuffle was not turned on for it. It was only normal stuff. And it was a good learning experience to get comfortable with it. If you have a good tracker, Z Helper, Z Tracker, something like that, that helps you keep an eye out on where your hearts are dropping, or where things that are potentially dropping on the floor that could be hearts. It really is helpful on going through and doing this. And if you get into super advanced mode, you can also keep a listing or a record of all the drop rooms in each individual dungeon, and that also helps you figure out what to invest time into and what not to.
Yep, that's how you start to separate yourself in Randomizer, is knowing just what rooms to kill, what rooms not to kill, because you just go faster if you're not clearing these rooms. Jess sees the White Sword, has already picked up the red candle. We'll shortly be getting the Triforce. Meantime, Potato Pony is continuing overworld exploration and checking those push block spots on the overworld. Also, just because we're talking about breaking brains, if you really want to have your brain broken by this randomizer, what you want to do is 2 things. The first is turn on fun percent, which is basically random sprites. That will really hurt your brain. And then, if you just want to have super confusion, do mirrored overworld. That's a blast.
Your definition of blast is maybe not mine, but random is definitely a thing for going through and doing anything where your sprites change. But it's actually really cool, and I love the fact that we have it in the randomizer, because it's completely different strategies when you do that, and things that you have to know. Like when you hit pause and you look at your start screen there, what positions are items supposed to be in? Either knowing that or having a reference point suddenly becomes important when you maybe have never thought about it before. And so that kind of stuff is really just super interesting and super compelling.
Yeah, it is really nice to have all of these different options. And we've got Potato Pony back in 6, gonna go digging for items, may have already tried all the push blocks on the overworld and know that level 5 has to be behind the recorder. So it looks like the race right now is a race to the recorder.
That's exactly right, I think. I have been trying my best to track, but I am not 100% on whether we've seen every push block, but I think so. And Potato Pony knows that there's 2 items on here in 6, right? One down the stairs, one actually on the floor. 8 only has 1 item left, and both runners know that there's only 1 item left here in 8. And so it's an interesting choice for Pony to go go into 6, which is great, or Jess to go into 8 when you have a higher chance of finding something in 6. But on the other hand, in 8, Jess has seen a lot of 8, more than half this dungeon, so I guess it's an interesting choice how they split.
The question is, since I didn't really see level 8's item's location, is the item that we're looking for in 8 only a stair item? Because I believe level 6 we have both a stair and a floor item outstanding.
Correct. It's only a stair item that we have in 8. And by the way, chat, I may have mistracked something or misremembered something, but I don't believe Jess has the Triforce out of 3, as was asked, because Jess was bomb blocked from continuing on that path, and so she left 3. By the way, Potato Pony found what he was looking for. There's that recorder on the floor in 6.
All right, well, that means Jess is just going to get this consolation prize of the book in level 8, and I believe that means our silvers are still outstanding. They could still be the stair item here in level 6. Otherwise, I believe they're going to be in level 9 tonight.
Yeah, indeed. I think that you're spot on, right? If we're not finding it in 6 right now, and we know that it's not in 8, it's gonna be 9. Very vanilla feeling. I do appreciate Pony continuing to dig, of course, knowing that that's a silver issue. Or actually, realistically speaking, because we're looking for the recorder for 5, the silvers could be in 5, right? We still get 2 items that we can look for over there.
You know, that's absolutely true. And Potato Pony, seeing the bait block here in level 6, decides to drop the bait just to go ahead and get it out of the inventory.
I did enjoy that. That was a completely useless bait block, but hey, there's no other way to make that bait go away. And it can get a little annoying when you go and you want to select your way through all those different items there. And we find a compass, which is not really helpful at this stage of the game, but still.
At least not for level 6. It's really a shame that we can't have the compass have multiple things. Imagine if the compass, instead of showing you the Triforce, showed you the location of, say, the stair item or something.
You know, I know we have that as a feature request out to Fred to go ahead and add into the randomizer at some point in time. I'm under the impression it's a technical challenge, but you know what? Fred has shown that he can do pretty much anything with this randomizer, so maybe one day we'll get that.
Yeah, or maybe the floor item. Now that I'm thinking about it, the floor item would be a little better. Or choose one of 3, you know? I don't know. Would be interesting.
Yeah, it sure would.
All right, we got Drewis in chat saying, imagine if the compass shot fire. So there you go. There's another thing that could go on the feature request. I don't know what it would cause to shoot fire, but it could be interesting nonetheless.
I love it. I'm sold on this idea. All right, this is. Oh, I was gonna say this has to be the room here, but it is not the room for Potato Pony in terms of the push block. So there's got to be something that we just have not seen in 6 at this stage. Jess, incidentally, has found her recorder in 6. However, she is still digging around to go find the push block to go down the stairs, just like Potato Pony is. And incidentally, they are in the exact same room, or were for a second there. That's a little bit of a high five.
You know, it's always nice to see the runners showing some good sportsmanship. All right, we could even make it a deceptive compass. It could just put a random spot on the map, on the dungeon map.
I love the brainstorming that's going on in here. I think the idea that all rooms are dark until you get the compass. I gotta tell you, if you've ever played Blackout mode, which is incidentally another really cool thing that Fred has added to the randomizer, all the rooms are just pitch black, and it's a really strange experience. You can only see what's going on when you throw off a bomb or something to that effect. That causes the screen to flash, or when you die and it causes things to change colors. Having it be in like blackout mode and then shift when you got the compass would be really fun. And we see Zelda's not in her room tonight either. Neither was Ganon, so people are moving all around.
You know, it's a randomizer. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Now we find our room, right? Nope. No, we don't.
Well, I think Potato Pony has it here.
Now, with Jess picking up that book in 8. Oh, incidentally, yeah, they are in 6.
Oh.
Worth the dig.
All right, so that will complete our tracker. Silver arrows in 6. That means level 9 is a CJ level with all hearts.
Means we're going to be seeing exactly the same in 5 too. So 5 is just going to be a pop in, you find that Triforce, and you get out. Jess is getting awfully close to it. I think that Potato Pony saw every room in 6. Jess is getting awfully close to finding that same room and going ahead and finding those silvers, and she'll get out of 6. And even though she is 2 Triforces down while Potato Pony's only 1, keep in mind, it's in 3. She knows the direction she needs to go. It's just a bomb block and then a couple of rooms, so she'll be out of 3 really quickly. It's going to come down to how does 5 route, or scarily enough, it may even just come down to how does 9 route. Who's going to be the best over a 9?
I will say that right now, if you want to look at it from a routing perspective, Jess has the book, and Potato Pony is not going to get that book this seed.
It's an excellent point. By the way, we have just found 5.
Yep. Level 5 in the grave.
That is, I believe, to Q6 over there into that spot.
I think you're correct.
Jess is here to find those silvers. Then she's going to be ready to get out. By the way, great double taps from Jess again. Showing a lot of skill with that.
All right, here's the map in level 5. So that negates the book advantage for level 5. We'll have to see if the map is just easily accessible in 9 or if it's nice and trolly, like most of the seed.
Oh, and I see chat talking about 2Q4, right? Like, we say 9's the great equalizer. Oh, by the way, there's Triforce for Potato Pony. It is really quick and easy once Jess gets in here to go ahead and grab that. But let's see if she goes and takes a trip over to the grave anytime soon for that.
Yeah, Jess still also will need to fight another boss, which is remembering not having the Triforce out of 3, which I think she will. I believe she uses a tracker. Trackers, MVPs of our tournaments because they help us get restreamed, but a tracking program is also helpful. Or if you don't want to use a tracking program, you could use just use pen and paper. There are quite a few runners who do that, and not just low-level runners, like high-level runners.
Oh goodness, yes. There are people, and incidentally, you can have discussions about this all day long in Discord. I know I like to watch them and occasionally weigh in. But there are people out there who I would deem absolutely crazy who are going through and not tracking whatsoever, or just doing very basic level tracking, and they're incredibly high level runners. So I support strongly a very good tracking program, but there's, to each their own on what works best.
We've got a question in chat from Putz12. Who needs trackers? Well, we need trackers so that we can get our restreams on the air.
By the way, speaking of getting on the air, and also, by the way, speaking of the Discord here, I'm going to go ahead and pop into chat the link to the Zelda 1 Randomizer Discord, as Jess checks for the mags and finds out, by the way, she can't pick that up at this stage of the game. I'm going to go ahead and drop that into chat, and the reason I'm going to do that is everybody who runs this game wants an opportunity to be streamed, and we have 200 plus people who are watching this right now as we speak, as we're live streaming this on SpeedGaming. There's a lot of people who want to watch these types of events that we're doing right now, and the more people that we have that can do commentary and tracking, the more of these matches that we can actually put up on the air. So if you like Zelda 1 Randomizer, you enjoy this, come on down and join us in the Discord. We're happy to teach you how to do commentary, tracking, all that good stuff, and that'll help us get more matches out there, and therefore get to see more stuff.
All right, while you were going over that, Potato Pony found 2 big things in level 9, both the compass and the map. Just needs to find a path to the kidnapped and the boss of the game, Ganon.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that advantage that Jess was going to have vis-a-vis the... Oh, you can't bomb down to Zelda, that's for sure. But that advantage that we were going to get for Jess having the book is basically gone at this point in time. So we are getting a little a little tight now. For Jess fans, we want it to be really, really hard to get to Ganon, because we just saw that door that leads right over into Zelda.
Yeah, this is looking quite dire if you're in Camp Jess. However, if you're rooting for the Master of Statistics Potato Pony, things are going your way tonight. Jess does pick up the Triforce out of level 3, still needs to find level 5 and then get into level 9.
And that was a roar we just heard over on Potato Pony's side.
We're gonna go ahead and say that is probably the end of the road for Jess, unfortunately. But you never know. It still could be magical staircase fun.
Yeah, we've seen 2 bomb walls now that do not lead over into Ganon's room. So getting there, if we can go from below and get in, then we're good. Otherwise, we might actually be running into magical staircase fun. Oh no, there we go. We got our way in.
All right, we've got the Ganon. Now we have the white sword, so it's going to take 8 swings of the white sword to make the big piggy cry, Uncle, and then 1 shiny silver arrow right to the noggin, it looks like, and that will be the end of Ganon, Bacon Crumble, and the Triforce of Power, just like that.
I will say how lucky it was for Potato Pony right there. If you notice, that was his very last bomb. If it turns out you needed to bomb from the right-hand side, then this could have been a little messy.
Yeah, it does look like Jess will find level 5 before Potato Pony finishes his seed, but not much.
That path to the kidnapped exists right over there, so we are just seconds away from GG for Potato Pony here.
And with that, chat, make sure to get your GGs warmed up and ready for Potato Pony. You got about 8 seconds.
That's a great comment in chat. Yeah, the ladder ended up being required for Ganon, like we were joking about at the beginning of the seed, because you had to cross it from bombing from the bottom. But on the other hand, 4 was also ladder blocked. Well, there we go. There's Potato Pony finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 40 seconds.
All right, Jess is continuing on. Let's see if she pulls a Triforce and how fast she can complete level 9.
And Opno, to your point, you can beat Ganon in a double moat room without the ladder. You're right. You absolutely can, but we needed to bomb from the bottom and cross that moat. Unless there's a way to beat him without even crossing it, in which case, Opno, you're a better runner than I am.
So I will answer for Opno. You can do that, but holy cow, is that difficult. And while we were talking about beating Ganon in a double river room without the ladder, we got Potato Pony sneaking into the booth with us. GG's, Potato Pony.
GG.
Thanks very much.
Well, that was a heck of a seed, and you two have been super close the entire run, right up into the very end here, where Jess just got her Triforce from 5 and is about to pop over into 9. How about that level 6, by the way? You went back and dug that when Jess went through and went to 8, looking for what the third item was in 8, rather than trying to actually see the 2 items in 6 to go find that recorder to get to 5 when you guys both knew that was actually happening. I think you saw every single room in that 6.
I think I might have like 1 room I didn't see, but I almost left when I found the recorder. I almost left 6. I was like, I'll dig 5, and then I was like, if I have to come back here for a 3rd time, I'm gonna feel really lousy. And so I stuck around, and then felt pretty good when the silvers were there.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That was incredibly. I mean, it worked out really well, right? Like both you and Jess had to do a bunch of digging to go and get those silvers, but again, worked out incredibly well. Jess found an incredibly fast path to Ganon, though, it looks like.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah, that was really quick. That's just going left instead of up, or west instead of north.
That's like a Google Maps assisted 9 or something. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, geez, that's another great idea that's never gonna happen. Imagine if you got the book and the compass, if it would just give you from where you are in the dungeon. Like if you got book, compass, and map, if it just showed you the path.
It just gives you
map.
like arrows in each room, like go this way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just enjoying the walls that don't bomb over in Ganon's room. I saw, and you ended up using your very last bomb to get into Ganon's room from the bottom. But boy, if that didn't actually open up for you, that was going to be real concerning.
I didn't love it. I hoped that if it came to it, there would have been a path around to the right from the last direction. But I figured when you're racing somebody as good as Jess and you're at the end, sometimes you got to try that last bomb.
Yeah, well, you knew it was the rooms, and it was a wall into it, so makes sense to drop that bomb there, even if it ended up being a different one.
And I had already eliminated 2 of the 3 possible walls, so the last bomb was, sort of 50-50.
50-50, good it worked out, though. As we continue to see Jess poking around, I mean, she's not terribly far away from Zelda, but no compass, so it's going to take a moment maybe to get that routing done.
Yeah, it's just kind of a wander around from here if one of these walls bombs open, but they do not.
Did Jess end up with, 19 or 20 bombs or whatever I had in the seed also?
Oh, goodness, that's actually a great question, because she did not go ahead and get the bomb upgrade in 3 when you did. So she was bomb blocked from going up in the room. That would have gone and given more access to 3. So she left after getting the 2 items and didn't get the Triforce or the bomb upgrade. She may have picked it up on the route back, but I did miss that if that was the case. There we go. Get your GGs in chat. Jess also finishing here. She is finishing right now with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 52 seconds. All right, fantastic. And by the way, thank you, chat, for also pointing out that link I sent was no longer valid. Here is a direct link. Please feel free to join the community. It's incredibly helpful when you do. And by the way, welcome to jessandy8. GG.
Thank you! GG's to my amazing partner. And I think that means tied now?
39 and 39, Jess. We can never race together
baby.
again. GG, Jess. Way to go.
Everything.
I saw everything except for, I guess, the book in 8, which sounds like it was the difference is that I stuck around. I went to 6 and dug both items out there and got the silvers without going back to 8.
Ouch. Dang.
Yeah, I think that's really what this might have come down to, is the fact that Potato went to level 6 when you went to level 8, Jess.
Yeah, and I guess I felt like I had a lot more of 6 to explore, and I didn't have a ton left in 8, so I figured I'd go to 8. But of course, 6 had, both items that were necessary for the seed. My freaking tutor betrayed me. How dare it?
It seemed like the perfect seed to beat you in, Jess, to be honest. There was no tutor in the code for the seed, and even though you needed it, it was like at the very end, so you didn't get the power from it for most of the seed. So I felt like I had a chance, mostly because the tutor didn't show up until way late.
Ah, man. Now I know how to beat you next time. Somehow force that to be required for everything.
Did you get the wand pretty early? Because that was the other thing that I felt pretty good about, was before I'd found the wood sword, was getting that wand out of 3.
I got it at about under 10 minutes, but after my wood sword.
Yeah, Jess had the sword and the wand before you had either of them, Potato Pony. So like she had a little bit of an offensive advantage, and got the red ring before you too. So, but you also had the any key much earlier, which definitely helps out.
Yeah, it at least helps out, like, mentally. You don't have to stress as much about whether to open a key door or not.
Exactly. It really helps you with sort of like areas, go ahead and clear out these 3x3 instead of following the path where you don't burn a key for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kept trying to keep there was so much, like, that was a ridiculous seed when it came to cash. Like it was absurd. But I kept trying to keep my rupees up to 255 because I was planning to buy a blue ring, but when I finally found the shop, I didn't quite have it. And right after that is when I finally got up to Death Mountain and found the red ring in 4.
Yeah, and I had a lot of money for a long time too, and I kept avoiding buying the arrows, thinking maybe I'll find silvers or I won't need the arrows. Then of course 7 was arrow blocked. It's like,
Was
gosh
7
darn
arrow
it.
blocked?
It was.
Guess... Oh yeah, I remember that Goma now because I had bought the arrows earlier, and so did you have to go buy them once you found the arrow block?
Well, I had it marked down, I think, but I was hoping that somewhere along the way on another level I'd find silvers,
Right.
but I didn't go back to 6 before 7, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Jess had had gone into 7 and poked around a little bit early, and then left from that Goma block and did not return until well after 4. I want to say.
Let's see. Yes, you are
guys
correct.
enjoy when I got super confused trying to figure out where the second item in 2 was because I hadn't noticed the wall masters.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. I enjoyed
that
when
was a
Jess
treat.
burnt that. Yeah.
I was so
Side
confused.
note-
I'm like, this is a tiny level. I've done every room. Like, what's going on here?
I'll say side note for anyone that has to play Pony, wall masters are his kryptonite.
It's true. They look so inviting. All I want to do is go nestle inside their warm purple palm and let them take me wherever.
Well, honestly, wall masters are the misunderstood enemy of Zelda. They generally speaking don't hurt you. They take you from wherever you're at in the dungeon to the first room of the dungeon. They just found a poor lost adventurer. Just want to help you get out of the dungeon. That's all.
I'm totally with you. I am a big believer that you could take basically all the enemies in Zelda and separate them into the real bad guys who should be banished from Hyrule, and the misunderstood guys who sometimes get in your way, but they're really just trying to be helpful.
There's very few of those.
There's cute bunnies. They're just hopping around enjoying their day. There's Aqua Menace, who's like a baby dragon just trying to grow up and have a good time. I don't know. I have a soft spot for a bunch of them.
That's just...
So,
oh my goodness.
I know why Jess doesn't like Aqua Mentis, because if you play the recorder for Aqua Mentis will go absolutely nuts with fireballs.
That is true. It does. It's quite fun.
I don't think I knew that. I'm going to have to try that next time.
Oh, but man, no. This was a fun one. It wasn't super trolly. It was just find a lot of things. So good roll, Neo.
Oh, thank you. That's right. It was not a Jess seat tonight. It was my role. That is correct. But yeah, no, it was very enjoyable to watch from not just the comms booth, but from anybody watching this game. There was a lot of great stuff. Jess, we were still talking about whether or not you were going to go all the way down that ladder to burn the wooden boomerang when you found it after your reaction to the blue.
I was so mad about that shoot boomerang. Oh.
You two did a great job of bringing some entertainment to us this evening. That is for sure.
That's good to hear. And I see that, by the way, Adam, you must have jumped in partway through. I'm not sure how long into it, but thanks for jumping into the booth and filling out the team.
Hey, no worries. I really enjoy coming into the booth just in time to see somebody rage stabbing at a boomerang. It's great.
Nice.
I bought the meat just in case because I had so much money, and then when I found the bait, I almost didn't. But I'm like, I better get rid of this stuff, and so I doubled back just to feed that
Nice.
that poor Lionel.
See, horsies, they just want to stab you in the face.
Excuse me, as a pony, I resent that remark.
See, that's why you won, because the hungry Gorilla was actually a hungry Lionel.
That's
and
right.
They must have whispered secrets into your ear saying, go find this.
That's
man
right.
in
I
this
went back,
location."
I gave him his food, and he was like, oh, the silvers are in 6. And it was easy after that. So
It's like pony power.
if only the hungry Gorilla had been a tutor, you would have been all set.
I know, right? But no, of course, I mean, Pony, you and I have been co-op partners for a while now, so I'll be rooting you on in the remainder of this tournament. Plus, it's always great to see whoever beat you go far, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was fun. I mean, we'd raced 70 whatever times before, but never head to head, so it was fun. It was fun to do it one-on-one, and thank you for a good race, Jess. And I'll try to do you proud, whoever's next.
You got in my head, man. I kept thinking about these fantasy football trades you've been trying to suggest.
Oh wait, does this mean I get to choose whatever trade I want? I won the race.
No, we never had those terms when we started this race. Although I actually was thinking about it.
All right, well.
That's great. I never agreed to these things.
But no, thanks so much to Adam and Neo for doing comms and Latebit for hopping in on tracking. Was great to be able to get this one on air because it's always fun to be on air.
Yeah, thanks to all three of you very much.
And GG's again, Pony.
GG's to you too, Jess.
Thank you, you two, and as adding to that last little bit about commentary and tracking, I threw it in chat a little while ago. So did Adam. But people were watching this. People here clearly love Zelda 1 Randomizer. Feel free to come along, join us in the Discord, hang out, and feel free to start signing up for commentary and tracking. The more volunteers we get, the more of these that we get on the air, the more of these that we get on the air, the more fun it is for us out there who love to watch these events. Not to mention for those running, it's always a lot more exciting to be out there with just a little bit of knowledge that there is a public view on these spectacles out there. It makes things really interesting and really fun. So, thank you to anybody who has an opportunity to see that. And by the way, Adam, thank you for putting them in chat. But come along, join us, be part of the community. It's absolutely wonderful. That being said, runners, any last comments for the evening?
No, I think we're all set. Again, GG, Jess, and thanks for the restream and all of the help, and hope everybody enjoyed watching.
Yeah, and don't forget to stick around. There is another one tonight at 10 Eastern. So that'd be a fun one. Also, hashtag hunt for Mooney.
Well, all right then. I will say, absolutely, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, same channel that you're on right now. Come on down. It's fantastic. Incidentally, chat, good news. The Discord will help you understand the logic for the rando. So, again, feel free to come join us. It's great. But GG's to everybody who was here. Thank you for everybody who came and joined. I do want to throw out a thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting this and getting this online, which is, of course, wonderful. I will 100% thank you, Adam, for coming along. I was a good, 35, 40 minutes into this as a solo commentator, and I absolutely love not only commentating with you, but having someone in general to bounce back and forth with. So huge thanks over there. Latebit, thank you for joining us in tracking, keeping us honest, the real MVP to make sure that we can get this on the air and keep everything up and running. And of course, thank you to everybody who came along for the ride here today, who watched. You're the reason we put all these together and get them out there. It's for those people who like to watch and those people who like to add some value and really sit back and enjoy.
Absolutely, and thank you, Neo, for actually signing up for comms, Latebit for being here for tracking so that we could get this one on the air. Thanks to SpeedGaming again for allowing us to restream. And of course, thank you to Jess and Potato Pony for joining the tournament because, of course, without runners, we're just, what are we doing, Neo, talking about the weather? I think we talked about that last time, and everybody left. It was weird. Anyway, with all of that, our next race is tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. It will be right here on SpeedGaming. It is Thurwolf versus the creator, F. Coughlin. That'll be one heck of a match. I recommend everybody come back and check it out. And so, I will say good afternoon, everyone. Take care.